Welcome to Arms 101. I am your host, Patrick from RWingAttack, and in this video series, we are going to be going over different characters from the brand new game from Nintendo, Arms. Now, the first character is Master Mummy. Now, Master Mummy, of course, is my favorite character. He's one of the few bulky, kind of big characters in the game, and definitely an underrated character in the series so far, and I've kind of gravitated towards Master Mummy. I usually use more of the elusive characters. I thought I originally was going to use characters like Ninjara and Ribbon Girl, but today is all going to be about my favorite character, Master Mummy, and how I exactly use him, some of my strategies. So hopefully this video will let you kind of get better with Master Mummy and really take advantage of all that he has to offer. So let's get started. So my strategy in terms of picking arms against different characters with Master Mummy, I have two strategies that I use. So for the quicker, more elusive characters, like let's say Ninjara or Ribbon Girl, I use the tribal in one hand and the popper in the other. That gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of how many punches that I can actually throw, and against more of the elusive characters, I like the lower recharge rate of those fast arms. Now, if I'm facing bigger characters like Mechanica or even kind of Twin Tail, I use the Megaton in one hand and the popper in the other. The reason for that is the bigger characters cannot react as quickly, so if I throw a Megaton and then I counter it with throwing out a popper, I might miss the Megaton, but the popper might send them flying. So there's definitely a cool dynamic there. So first I'm going to go over some of the features that makes Master Mummy unique as a character in the game. And I wanted to go over some little things and little details that you might not know about the character. Now, for starters, Master Mummy, his throw damage is the best in the game. His throw damage is actually 200 points, which is about 50 points higher than the average in the game. So the average being 150, there are some characters like Twin Tail that has 160 and also Kid Cobra that has 170, but nobody can match Master Mummy's 200 throw damage. And actually later in the game, it comes in quite handy. I'll tell you more about the throw damage and how I use it later in the video, but I thought I'd start out with that. Also, another feature is the flinch ability. Now, both Master Mummy and Mechanica actually share this trait. So the bigger characters, when they get hit with punches, they kind of won't flinch as much as the other characters. Now, if you're using some of the smaller characters like Ribbon Girl and Ninjara, those characters will flinch a lot more and will actually get thrown back by punches. But Master Mummy and Mechanica both will take a lot of punches, so it's easier to kind of move up to your opponent and strike. But by far the biggest advantage Master Mummy has over the competition is the healing ability. And when Master Mummy goes for a block, you can actually see plus 10s near him, and that actually means that you're gaining 10 health every few seconds. So if you're holding that, and if you're far away from an opponent, you can keep getting that plus 10 hit points, which really does come in handy. Now, I'm going to go over healing because healing is one of the main strategies that I use with Master Mummy. So how exactly do I do it? Well, there's a few strategies, so let me go over the first one. The first strategy is to distance yourself from the opponents as far as you can. So go to the completely other side of the map. This is a lot harder than it seems though, because Master Mummy is kind of a slow-moving character. But if you happen to throw or hit your opponent and it sends them flying across the stage, you can always jump to the other part of the stage, start blocking, and start getting that health back as soon as possible. This really does come in handy in kind of the free-for-all matches where it's 3-player free-for-all and 2v2. You can kind of hang out in the corner, keep restoring your health, and hopefully when the clock runs out, if the clock runs out, you will have the most health, which will make you the victor. Now, some people may think this is cheap, but it's definitely a strong strategy that I use when I'm going against kind of the free-for-alls and everyone's kind of hitting each other. I'm just in the corner chilling, just getting my hit points back up. Now, when you're healing with Master Mummy, you're going to be in the block position a lot. So one of the things that you have to watch out for is whenever you see the opponent go for the throw move, you have to react. Master Mummy is a very reactive character. So if you don't have fast reflexes, Master Mummy might not be for you. Now, there are a couple strategies that I use and that I will share with you today. So when you're in the block position, you are very vulnerable to a throw. So most characters will actually do the throw mechanic. So I do two different things. The first thing I do, which both of the strategies have this in common, you have to jump out of the way. You can either jump left, right, or up. I tend to jump up, so when I jump up, I either go for a throw and get that 200 damage I was talking about before, or I jump to the side and use both of my fists simultaneously without doing the throw mechanic, and you can get a lot of points and send your opponent flying. So you definitely have to be reactive with Master Mummy. So that's kind of the biggest thing about this strategy guide, is kind of being reactive with him. Now, the other healing mechanic that I do is every time, now this is every time a opponent goes flying or gets hit back, I immediately go back into the healing position, because even if your opponent is a quick character like Ninjara, you're still going to get back 20 health at least if you do it right. 20 health may not seem like a lot. If you do that 5 times, that's going to add up, and that's going to help your health go up. And Master Mummy is a character that usually I have longer matches with, so the clock is definitely on your side if you're using that mechanic. No other character can increase their health unless they go inside the health circle, which they would gain 50. So healing is definitely one of the most important strategies when using Master Mummy, and I believe that those strategies will help you very, very greatly. So there you go, guys. That is my strategy guide on how I use Master Mummy. You know, of course, you can find your own arm combinations for him, but this has been working really well for me, and I've been enjoying his character quite a lot. But just to recap why Master Mummy is among the best characters in the game, of course, you have that throw damage. The throw damage is giant. 200 is at least 50 points more than the average in the game. Of course, the flinch mechanic, which he actually shares with Mechanica, he will take a lot more punches without going flying. And of course, the big one is the healing. So when he's in that block position, he will restore 10 hit points every few seconds, which is really cool. So that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you want me to do any more characters, just comment them in the comment section below. So, damn. Now you guys know exactly how I play with Master Mummy. And you're all going to beat me. Forget everything.